Shohei Ohtani's contract with the Los Angeles Dodgers is unorthodox to say the least and pretty controversial. Ohtani signed the dotted line on a record-breaking 10-year, $700 million contract. That, in itself, made baseball history, but as they say, the devil is in the details. Simple math tells you the contract works out to $70 million a year for the next 10 years. But this contract is far from simple. Ohtani presented the Dodgers with a deal, which they agreed to, that stipulated he would receive $700 million from the ball club eventually.
No. What I actually said was whoever won would get a doll eventually. You see, what we have here is a gift certificate.
A gift certificate?
Right, the doll as soon as they get some in the stores.
That's where the difference is between this and really any other contract before it. Ohtani will only be making $2 million a year. Sure, for a normal person, that's a ton of money, but for a baseball player, that's not much. For Shohei Ohtani, that's nothing. For a $700 million contract, that's unheard of. The contract many are drawing comparisons to is Bobby Bonilla's 5-year, $29 million contract he signed with the New York Mets in 1991. Bonilla still gets paid a little over $1 million from the Mets on July 1st every year, and that'll continue until 2035. Bonilla and Ohtani are not the only players to have ever deferred money in their contracts, but Bonilla is the most popular, likely because the payments will last until 2035, and Bonilla hasn't played a game for the Mets since 1999. Even still, Ohtani's is far different. Bonilla's deferment wasn't negotiated until a few years into the contract. Ohtani's, on the other hand, was given up front. San Francisco Giants president of baseball operations, Farhan Zaidi, said Ohtani and his camp presented the Giants with the same deal he ended up signing with the Dodgers. The Giants agreed to it, but Ohtani ended up picking their rivals over them. The other major difference in this contract, Bonilla receives $1 million from the Mets every July 1st. Beginning in 2034, a year before the final Bobby Bonilla day, Shohei Ohtani will be receiving payments of $68 million from the Los Angeles Dodgers every July 1st until 2043. Shohei will be nearly 50 years old when he receives his final payment. But why? Why would Shohei want to do this, and why would the Dodgers agree to it? Well, it benefits both sides in different ways. It largely benefits the Dodgers in the short term. They're already dishing out big yearly salaries to Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman, and they just signed Tyler Glasnow to a large deal. Being able to sign Shohei to a $700 million contract and only having to distribute $2 million a year to him is an absolute steal and has drawn questions regarding its legality. On the surface, it's kind of unfair. Major League Baseball doesn't have a salary cap, but it does have a luxury tax threshold. The luxury tax threshold is a certain large dollar amount given each year, and if a team exceeds that number, they will pay extra money for every dollar they go over it. There's no cap in baseball, but there are penalties, which essentially straps the team owner with the decision of how much money they want to shell out. Therefore, signing a player to a contract that will presumably award him $70 million a year is going to heavily impact the way you do business to stay under the luxury tax or at least not go too far over it. Paying the player $2 million to circumvent it doesn't seem legal, but it is. He'll still be getting the money just at a later date. As I said, deferred payments aren't unusual. It's just the size of Ohtani's deferred payments that are unusual. That being said, Ohtani will still count for $46 million towards the luxury tax. The Dodgers won't have to pay him $46 million a year, but he's still going to count towards the tax for that much. It's still a lot, but it's far less than $70 million, and since you're only actually giving him $2 million a year, you still have the money to pay other players more and are able to go over the luxury tax threshold more easily. So we see how this benefits the Dodgers, but why would Ohtani agree to it? More importantly, why did Ohtani present this to them? Him and his agent came up with it, why would they want to do it? It all comes down to taxes, and I'm not talking about the luxury tax, but instead, income tax. California, the state in which the Dodgers play, and Shohei will presumably reside, has one of the highest income tax rates in the country. By deferring these payments, the money will not be taxed until he actually receives it, from 2034 until 2043, when his playing days are probably over. He can relocate to wherever he likes and receive a more favorable tax situation instead of getting hit with the high California rate. Also, Ohtani likely has dual citizenship between the U.S. and his home country of Japan, which can make his tax situation a bit more complicated. Lastly, Ohtani is able to do this because he's already made a good amount of money from the Angels. He'll be making $2 million a year with the Dodgers still, and will surely be making tons of money outside of baseball over the next 10 years with endorsement deals. He's not in desperate need of $70 million, so he's able to receive it later. I think one of the most interesting parts about it is what will happen with the Dodgers from 2034 to 2043. They're going to be giving out $68 million a year to a guy who isn't even on their roster anymore. Ohtani could win 3 MVPs, 5 Cy Youngs, and bring the Dodgers 5 World Series wins over the next 10 years, and yes, you'd be able to make the argument that paying him that much money when he's not on the team is worth it, but that still doesn't change the fact you'll be giving $68 million to a guy who isn't on the roster. And it's for 10 whole years you'll be doing this. I guess the Dodgers are expecting to make a lot of money between now and then, and it's a long time away, so they're not worried about it. But if I was in the Dodgers financial department, I'd be scared out of my mind. I think 2034 could lead to some major struggles for the Dodgers, but they're focused on winning now, and you have to respect that. That does it for this one. Remember to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Feel free to leave a comment. Thanks for watching. See you next time.